We need to start talking about the subversive people in Canadian right-wing politics. First of all, what does subversive mean? It means to pervert or corrupt by an undermining of morals, allegiance, or faith. So a subversive person in the Canadian right wing would be someone who says they're conservative, but they're not really conservative, or say they've got their Canada first, but they're not really Canada first. So on today's episode, and I'm sure there will be many, we're going to start with this little weasel, Wyatt Claypool. Our story begins with a post from Harrison Faulkner, who works for True North. He made a video saying, hey, Poilievre and Trudeau seem to have the same policy on mass immigration. Why isn't Pierre Poilievre more conservative, pushing back against mass immigration? And it's great to see this, by the way. We have someone with a big platform applying pressure to the Conservative Party and the future Prime Minister to say, why are you not being conservative and pushing back against mass immigration? And then little Wyatt shows up. I really don't want to give this person attention, but we need to start talking about this phenomenon. He says, Harrison Faulkner is on the only I and my friends are real conservatives grind. Wyatt claims to be some sort of conservative person. Harrison is bringing up the most important issue in Canada right now, mass immigration. And this conservative guy, Wyatt Claypool, is not even talking about that issue at all. He's just sort of starting to be subversive and say, why is Harrison talking about this? And then the whole reason I'm making this video is because Wyatt then said this: promoting wiretap media content and Wycliffe is quite a move, by the way. So he's referring to me, Greg Wycliffe. And yes, Harrison has shared some of my work before. I've started SaveFreeSpeech.ca to stop Bill C-63. Again, I think any conservative would want to stop this Orwellian censorship bill. And then for those who don't know, wiretap media is somebody who does great investigative work into high-level corruption happening in Canada. And then so this little weasel shows up to kind of poo-poo my work of starting SaveFreeSpeech.ca to stop Bill C-63. And then this other account, Wiretap, who's making video about high-level corruption in this country. This guy claims to be a conservative, by the way. And it gets even better, because after that he says, if you just post the safe things people say, you can always have plausible deniability. What is he talking about here? Deniability of what? This is exactly like a cancel culture mob leftist mentality of like, you better not associate with those people. Oh, there's going to be some guilt by association and you'll be in trouble. This guy claims to be a conservative and he's sending out these veiled threats for conservatives making associations or sharing other people's work. And I've become very sensitive to this stuff because in my fight to save free speech and stop Bill C-63, I've realized there's a lot of culture of fear. And people are very afraid to associate with one another or talk to one another now. And this is not the energy of a nation that's going to keep their free speech. But it's funny that somebody like Wyatt claims to be this conservative and is kind of enforcing or advocating for that fear of like, no, you shouldn't associate. Don't associate with the wrong person, guys. And unfortunately, I've encountered Wyatt Claypool in the past. And what was he doing? He was in my DMs. He was DMing me saying, hey, you should not associate with this person. And he didn't know that this was actually a good friend of mine at the time. And he was telling lies about my friend saying not to associate with this person. So I want to make this video to let people know, hey, is somebody like Wyatt Claypool in your DMs pressuring you, saying, hey, you shouldn't associate with this person? Just keep in mind, he's probably doing that for a very intentional reason of why he doesn't want you to connect or have like-minded ideas with that person. And unfortunately, based on my experience with this person, he will lie to you. He lied about my friend when we were having a private conversation in the DMs. And I recognize that. I'm like, this is interesting. This person's lying to me to try and mischaracterize a friend of mine so I won't publicly associate with them and frankly won't speak as freely as I would have otherwise. So right-wing Canadians, beware of subversives like this showing up in your DMs and trying to soften and subvert your conservative values and convictions.